In this quiz, you're going to practice creating a text view object and then call methods on it. Since this is just for practice, we're going to do this in a new Android app outside of the Just Java app. That way we don't mess up the Just Java app. Open up the project wizard in Android Studio by going to File, New Project. Then you can accept the defaults for all of these. Make sure that you have blank activity template selected. Then click Finish. Once your project gets created, go ahead and run your app on your device. The default behavior should be to see the words Hello World show up here. But now we're going to do something a little different. In the main activity class, we're going to modify the onCreate method. Instead of calling setContentView on this activity main XML layout, we're going to create our own text view and set that here. On the Android developer site, there's a training section where it talks about building your first app. Specifically, I'm looking at the display the message part of the tutorial. It tells you that in the activity onCreate method, we can create a text view. And here's the code we recognized from earlier in this lesson. We're creating a new text view and we're storing it in a variable called textView. This constructor requires the context as an input parameter. I'm passing this as the input parameter because this refers to the current activity. And an activity is also a context, so this will correctly create a TextView object for us. Then we can call methods on this TextView object. Remember that this is the TextView variable name, not the TextView class. That's why the T is lowercase here. We can call TextView.setTextSize and TextView.setText as examples. When you scroll down, it says to call setContentView and pass in this TextView as an input parameter. If you scroll down further, it actually shows you a code sample of the onCreate method. We don't need this part. We're just focused on this part where we're creating a text view and then we're setting that as the content view of the activity layout. Back in Android Studio, in the main activity class, I'm going to modify the onCreate method. I'm going to insert some blank lines here. First, I'm going to create a new text view object using the constructor. I'm going to give it a variable name of textView, but feel free to call it something else, as long as it's appropriately descriptive of what this is. The TextView constructor requires a context, so I'm going to pass in this to refer to this activity. Then on the next line of code, I'm going to call a method on the TextView object. As soon as I hit dot, it's going to show me all the possible methods that I could call on this TextView object. If I start to type, then it will filter down these autocomplete options. You can see the options have narrowed. I'm going to choose setText, so I can hit enter to use this autocomplete result. Then I can put in a string as an input argument. Now the last step is to change the setContentView line. So instead of using this XML layout file, I'm going to just pass in TextView. I'm going to save this and then run this on the device. What I expect to happen now is that the screen will show a new text view that says wow on it instead of hello world. And it does. It's a little underwhelming though, so I want you to make it a little more interesting. I want you to call other methods on this text view object, like try to change the color or the text size. If you're even more adventurous, you can try calling other methods on the text view object. Look at the online documentation for TextView in order to figure out what the other possible methods are. When you're done, check these boxes to continue.